Hey, what is up you guys? Sam here. And I noticed that there is a serious lack of videos or guides regarding the Shaman class trinket, because it actually does change your rotation and playstyle a little bit, and some people may not necessarily know that. So I kind of wanted to make a guide on that, since I have kind of figured out how to use it. So jumping right in, the first thing I wanted to mention is don't delete your other class, or not your other class trinket, your other trinket. Like if you had the, for example, Iron Reaver Piston and you just got your class trinket and you want to use that in whatever other trinket you have, keep the other trinket. You want to have 3 trinkets because the class trinket is not at all useful on like mass AoE fights, like Hellfire Assault. I can't really think of any other examples, but you know, for that one fight you want to have another trinket to do your absolute maximum potential DPS, because you're not going to get many flame shocks off on anything that's going to survive for more than 10 seconds. So yeah, you definitely want the stats over the flame shock damage. So the biggest difference between class trinket and no class trinket, aside from the obvious flame shock damage and stuff, is the talent changes. So instead of going with Storm Elemental Totem for single target, you're going to go with Elemental Fusion. And what your goal is to stack the buffs. You're going to get 2 stacks of Elemental Fusion and your Unleashed Flame buff for a total of 120% plus the 150%. Not sure exactly how that adds up, but it's a lot of damage. My Flame Shock usually comes in just below Lava Burst for damage, especially on multi-target fights like Hellfire High Council, Hellfire High Council and Tyrant Velhari. Those two, your Flame Shock will do so much damage if you do this right. So your goal at the start of the fight is to get one of these buff Flame Shocks ASAP. But at the same time, you want to have your Lava Bursts and stuff from your Ascendants go off. You don't want to have to be stopping and casting Unleash Flame and Flame Shock. There's 2 globals. So basically, you're going to open with your normal Flame Shock. You're going to do some Lava Burst. You know, do your normal opener basically. Pop your cooldowns. And then, if you get to 20 stacks of Fulmination, you should definitely use it if there's 3 seconds or more left of your Ascendants. But you want to make sure that you can get 1 cast in Ascendants and 1 cast out of the Ascendants to get the 2 stacks of Elemental Fusion, and then use your Unleash Flame to get that big Flame Shock right after your opener. So you don't want to have to like save up afterward, because that makes your rotation a lot more complicated. You're going to have to save some Fulmination stacks, you have to leave them there, and you never want to do that. You never want to have to put in a position where you have to do that to do more damage. You're much better off if you just use the Fulmination stacks, or you can save them right after the opener and just get that Flame Shock going out ASAP, because it will do so much damage over the course of the fight. Now your actual like normal mid-fight rotation doesn't really change much, other than if you're moving and you want to be casting something while moving, obviously don't cast Flame Shock unless you have all the buffs, because that is just, you're overlapping, or you're overriding the buffed Flame Shock, and that's just going to cause a lot of problems. You're going to have to redo the buffed one. It's a pretty big DPS loss if you do that, so you never want to be doing that. Instead, you're actually better off not casting anything, but instead you can either use Unleash Flame for the movement to get where you need to go, and just to have that extra flame damage for your next Lava Burst or whatever. You can do Searing Totem, you can do Earth Shock depending on the stacks, you can even do like Frost Shock, as long as it's not going to stop you from Earth Shocking when you have 20 stacks. You just don't use Flame Shock unless it's all buffed. And for the middle, or for the other part of the middle of the boss encounter, you want to have the Flame Shock up at all times when it's buffed, so refreshing it at like 30 seconds left isn't necessarily a bad thing, considering it lasts, what, like a minute and a half at the least. It lasts a minute and a half if you have the normal trinket, which unfortunately that's what I have at the moment, even though I'm 724, but it's still a huge difference with DPS on single target and the cleaving fights, just having the normal one. But yeah, it lasts a really long time, so if you override the other one at 30 seconds left, as long as it's buffed, it's not a bad thing. And I'm going to elaborate on what I just said a little bit. When I say that you can do it like 30 seconds, that's not exactly optimal. But if you, for example, you don't have any Earth Shock procs, or you don't have any Fulmination stacks already ready, and you have your buff because you got like a proc or something, and you have it and Unleash Flame is off cooldown, go ahead and do it. just because you're not gonna have an opportunity like that unless you're really lucky, and you may have to like hold out on the 20 stack fulmination to get the flame shock if you wait too long. So what I mean by that is, if you have a really good opportunity, go ahead and refresh it. But if not, then you can wait until the last, like, I wouldn't wait longer than 16 seconds unless you already have a stack of elemental fusion, because then you might be going into territory of having to lava burst into a boss that has no flame shock on it, or having to wait even longer to get that flame shock up by having to flame shock to get the lava burst without, yeah, it's bad. So yeah, the rules don't apply where you only want to refresh it at last 6 seconds. If you can do that, that would be good, but definitely don't rely on that. Don't rely on procs coming. So the video is a little short, but I didn't really have anything else to say about the class trinket. There isn't really much else to know. So I guess we'll go ahead and end it here. If you liked the video, leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave it in the comment section. And thanks for watching. One last thing, my internet is a little better now. I'm not sure if I mentioned this in a previous video, I probably did, but I've been streaming every raid, which is like endgame mythic stuff. So if you ever want to watch that for like examples on Shaman or whatever, feel free to stop by at twitch.tv/NASM. And yeah, I also stream like random stuff in between, like doing normals or whatever. Sometimes PvP, but that's kind of rare nowadays. But that may change in the future, so if you're watching this video and it's been a month or so, don't take my word for it. What I'm saying right now, it definitely could be different. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Like I said before, subscribe if you want to see more, like the video if it helped, comment in the comment section, obviously, and see you guys next time.